Me.
Right, okay.
Hi, so here we are again, and I have to say the sun's out at the moment, which is brilliant because it just seems to be that the sun's never been out, and I'm here with the lovely Jane from Anxiety Stops. Is that
That's
what
right.
you're sort of calling
My business?
your business at the moment?
Anxiety
Is
Stop.
Anxiety Stops. So I met you at a networking. I've only met you once at a
That's
networking
right.
a few weeks ago, but it was like we need to have a chat. And then I said, I'm doing a podcast, and you've come today.
Yeah.
And I've literally turned the camera on, and you said, are you filming this? And of course I say podcast, but I know that I'm filming, but you thought it was literally just a chat. So sorry. Yeah,
That's
this
all right.
is something on camera. and it's called Life, Love and Lemon Drizzle Cake. And the idea is everybody that comes, I ask them what their favourite cake is. And you said, no, I don't want cake because I'm being good. I want strawberries and things. But it made me think, because when we did have our conversation, we were chatting about weight loss journeys and things, and how I'm sort of struggling. And really, I need to not be making cakes when people come round because it's not good, is it? So strawberries and things is fine, but I thought what I maybe need to start doing is when people say what they want, I need to try diversifying and making them like a low calorie one or a low carb.
Yeah, I think that
type.
might be nice, like where you could make something that's all fruit or something, or like you say, something that's protein rich. I
can't keep making cakes. It's not.
No, but you could make a healthy cake.
Well, that's it. I've got all these, like low carb recipe books and things. So I did make a lemon sorbet the other week, but that was a bit of a fail. But we'll see how we go. So we're going to chat today about that. But we've got strawberries, and you've got your drink, and so we have an icebreaker to begin with. So I asked you to come up with a random question for me.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Random question. Okay.
Oh.
I'm going to pinch one from something that I've come across today, and so I'm going to look like I'm prepared, but I'm not. What surprises you about yourself? What have you learned about yourself that's come as a whoa? I didn't know I felt like that.
Gosh, what surprises me about myself? That I've probably got more drive than I've ever really given myself credit for, because I'm very good at putting myself down. I spent my whole life putting myself down and thinking that I'm a failure and thinking that I'm not good enough, and imposter syndrome and insecure and paranoid. But I keep on going. Do you know? I keep on putting myself out there. So I might still be all those things, but equally I don't. Yeah, I think maybe that I've got more drive than I've thought, because doing this, it's like it's not.
This is big.
It's not natural or comfortable, and I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I keep plugging away. So yeah, maybe I've got more drive than I thought.
Yeah. Where does that come from?
Probably from my dad. Probably from the stubbornness of. I think we're all stubborn. There's 5 of us. I've got 4, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. So I think we're all quite stubborn, and I think we get that from my dad. Really.
What? I'm going to be really.
Oh, this is nice. You do it. Yeah, you do it. I'm more than happy. Come on.
I'm so sorry. I'm like my brain.
No, please carry on.
Thinking. So, what have the positives been from that? From having this drive? Yeah. What have you overcome that you wouldn't have overcome?
Just not giving up. So I've never setting myself up in business. I've been saying to people that I've been talking to recently, I've been saying it's hard setting yourself up in business. Hard. It is really, really hard. And, I've been doing this for over a year now, and I thought that I would have more traction by now, that I would have more work, and I haven't. So I've done the whole, it's my fault, I'm not good enough, people don't like me, and then, but not then trying to sort of think to myself, no, equally, if you look at the other side of it, people are saying that there's a lot of celebrants, it's a very swamped market, and I'm not very good at social media, so it's not necessarily maybe all me, it's all the other factors that are being kicked down the road at the same time. And equally, I'm about to walk away from my job, aren't I? So I have to make something work because I need to earn a living.
Oh, when are you walking away from your job?
So I've got 12 working days to go. 30.
Doing.
So I work for NHS England. So I work as quality assurance for screening programs. So at the moment I work for the bowel cancer screening program.
Okay.
So we're like quality assurance
Wow.
So for years I worked in the NHS as a manager for the aneurysm screening programme.
Yeah.
So I was a programme manager. So now I'm quality assurance overseeing the programmes. But I work for Bow. But I leave at the end of June.
Exciting.
Exciting, but terrifying as well, isn't it? To walk away from the salary. I've never been self-employed.
Yeah, in fact, I did the same kind of thing, but I wasn't as organised as you. I just one day found myself giving my notice in on a Teams. Totally unpredicted that day. I'd got it in the back of my mind, but it just came out of my mouth. And then setting the business up as a result. And I've just recently dipped in and worked for somebody else for 6 months just to get the salary in, because like you say, it's daunting. And they did ask me to stay, but it's not my passion. So much to my husband's unhappiness, because he doesn't work, because he has heart failure. I said no. So now I've got to make mine work, and it is scary.
It is scary. So what did you do before?
Oh, I've done a million different careers. Predominantly, I would say my main career has been sales. I was a medical rep for years.
Oh, okay.
I've had a previous business, online decorating supplies, and I used to sell to colleges, to their decorating departments. And then my last corporate role before this, so I've also worked in wellbeing. I've done work for Westfield Health, Simply Health, and then the last one was for iMed, and that's the one that I packed in. And then I guess really I'd done neuro-linguistic programming for about 30 years, which is part of what I do, but more for myself, and I've done courses on it, and for work situations and for training people and different things, and it's something I've always been passionate about. But like you say, imposter syndrome, kept thinking, oh, everybody's better than me and all this.
You see, now that's incredible.
Even though I work on that. But
but for you, because I see you as being an incredibly sort of confident.
No, absolutely not. I really badly suffer. But what I do, I suppose, having done it for years, and now that I'm doing it for myself, I'm very good at changing state fast. So when I need to.
Right.
So that is something that stands me in good stead. I think I can change state fast.
So what is state fast?
So if you're in an emotional place, or changing the state within yourself, or feeling the imposter syndrome, I've got the tools.
Okay.
So I know what I should be doing to change it. So and I suppose I feel I've done just, I think it's about 18 months within my own business. I'm fortunate. I work with a clinic, and some of their therapists refer on to me. So if somebody's had counselling and then they don't want to be dropping back again into a state of massive anxiety or stress, or if somebody has got goals they want to reach, or challenges, might be, or overcoming grief or something like that, then they get referred on to me, and I've now, touch wood, getting some really good feedback.
Okay.
And I think that helps, where I no longer feel as imposterish. I still hate doing the elevator speech at networks. Still hate that. I don't, and yet I know what to do to change that. But it's like everything else, isn't it?
But it's like anybody in business, like accountants being bad with money and things, isn't it? It's like,
It just feels like a false situation to me somehow, like you're pushed in a room with complete strangers and you gotta say what you are. And I'm more organic, I think.
Yes.
I like people.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah,
which is why I like this kind of thing. It's like I like
more
talking.
Of an organic connection.
Yeah, I'm not very good in groups.
Exactly. Yeah, and the irony of it is the last job I did, where they asked me to go and help them out, and I did this 6 months. I said, she's so good at networking, come and work for us. And it's something that, as always, people have always said, and it's something that I think what it is, I'm not particularly good at the overall thing. I'm okay if I can go in and deliver a workshop and people don't know, but I think it's more that peer thing.
Yeah, see, I always
struggle more with that.
Because I do stuff on stage, because I prat around on stage, and everyone seems to think that because you go on stage that you're a confident person, but it's not. But it's not, because when I'm on stage, I'm then playing the part that I'm playing, or as you say, when I'm doing a presentation, I'm in my role as.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's fine. But going for an audition, then that's Debbie that's me going for an audition, and I'll hide behind the book, and
of course,
you know, so it's not, it's a completely different thing. Being on stage, I am not on stage as Debbie. I'm on stage as whatever it is that I'm being, and going to net.
So it's acting, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you need to tell me more about that.
So no, it's just Amdram stuff that I do. So it's just like local sort of theatre stuff. But I generally do comedy. I generally do comedy stuff.
Wow. Challenge you?
And muck around on stage. No, I absolutely love it. Yeah. I absolutely love doing that. It's just such a release. Brilliant. It's just a real. Yeah. But as I say, it's just the fact that people think that you're confident because you do that. But it's not. Again, it's all cloak and mirrors, isn't it? It's like you hide yourself behind things, don't you? There are different parts of us,
and I think that's the thing that we need to embrace. We're not all one person, and I'm different to you as I might be to someone else, and we find a level with that person, don't we?
Yeah.
And I guess that's why we all have different kinds of friends, isn't it? You've got your friend who you can ring up for that, and another one for a different purpose. Yeah.
I had a really good conversation with my son recently. He's sort of struggled in relationships and bits and pieces, and coming back, and he was talking to one of his friends, and his friend said to him, he said, I'm a 4 to 7 person, you're a 1 to 10 person. What? So Sam said, what do you mean? So he said, well, I sit in that 4 to 7, so I never get the real highs, but I never get the real lows. I'm very much just a middle of the road type of person. You know, I don't get really excited, but I don't get really down. Okay. I'm just a middle of the road. He said, but you're either really, really up there, or you're really, really down there. And I thought, oh my God, I've never heard that before.
No, I haven't.
But I thought that was a really good analogy. And I am a 1 to 10 person.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it was a really good thing to make me think, do you know, actually, some people are just much more in that middle bit, aren't they? They're much generally in life calmer, more grounded, more they don't have the highs and lows, but
it's not the same amount of dopamine that's going to them, though, is it?
No, I like my highs and lows.
Yeah, you and I are the type that live on the dopamine.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I can be from up there to down there on the same day. You know, it can stop that quickly. But I just thought it was a really interesting. It was a really interesting thing that I'd never really thought about. I'd thought that everybody was sort of like me in that way of, you know, peaks and troughs and ups and downs. But thinking about it, no, some people that I know, I can imagine thinking, actually, you probably are more just that sit in the middle.
Yeah.
And you don't really have but that's not me.
Me neither. And none of my friends either. No. So what does that say about me?
So if I said to you, if I said, as you get older, you find yourself, so what would be your answer? As you're getting older, you find yourself
embracing challenges.
Okay.
I would say, more sort of saying yes and putting myself out of the comfort box. I also feel that I'm prioritising my time. I'm getting where something I didn't notice before, I'm thinking, actually, do I want to be doing this now with this person? And that's like interesting. I'm kind of doing something that it's something I do with clients, but it's not something I would normally put in my own personal life. But I'm doing it from a personal perspective where I'm thinking, actually, do I want to attend that? Do I want to be with this person? Do I want to have a friendship with this person? What are my values? Is because time's running out and I've not got as much. So what I do is more precious. Yeah.
Do you know, obviously it really matters. It's really funny that you say that, because obviously doing this podcast thing and just, you know, finding myself on social media, I've been watching other stuff, and I was watching something on YouTube the other day, about someone talking about how a video that they did had gone viral, but she had retired.
Yeah.
And she'd said that from January she'd been making all these little podcasts and things and not really getting anywhere, talking about retirement and things. And then she did one in April, and it was the 9 best ways to save time in your retirement, and it went viral.
Really?
Some of it is just you saying about saying yes to challenges, but equally saying no to the things that you suddenly saying, all the things that being people pleased, and that it's obviously that whole thing as you get older, you obviously need to be more aware of your time and what you're doing with it and make it count. And she said these, I don't know what the 9 points were, but it was the fact that she'd been running these podcasts every week, and this one that she did
went viral.
We
need to do a podcast on that.
Yeah. What waste the time? But again, it's obviously it matters, doesn't it, to people?
I think so. I think we don't have a lot of control. I think COVID showed us that we don't have complete control of our destiny and time. But yeah, I think for me, for certain, I am definitely thinking, my parents are both elderly, and I've got physical challenges, and Dad's he's terminal, and Mum's potentially got an operation coming up, and it's not nice. So, and I'm an only child, so like I'm thinking they're important, obviously. My kids are important, so I've got one in London, so I want to be able to scoot off there, and one's around the corner, and then I'm a grandma, and so I have once a week, and then my husband has heart failure, so he's important. So, and particularly I think as a woman you find yourself pushed, and then trying to do the business. So the people I see in my pleasure time are the ones, I guess, that I'm thinking actually
it needs to matter.
With this person, and I've really noticed, and it's not that I would want to be cruel, but I find myself thinking, actually, I don't want to do that. And I'm actually thinking, how do I say that with honesty, but without hurting them? It's a funny situation too, because I've always thought the time I've looked for the best in people and pretzeled around and thought that that's my role, is to be there for people. And
yes, I'm a natural people pleaser.
Me too.
I want to sort of do the right thing all the time.
Exactly,
and
do the right thing. And I've always looked and analysed myself, which is why I do what I do. Because I think, right, okay, how could I do that better? How could I say that better? How could that land better? How would that help them? As a natural thing in friendships anyway, if somebody's had a challenge. But yeah, I suppose it's just a current situation I've got going on where I'm thinking, oh, how do I not be around as much in a polite way? Which is not nice, is it? But it's something that is necessary.
So is there a lot of people out there coming to you with anxiety?
A lot. Yeah, it's a really odd thing. So I've called my company Anxiety Stop, and that's a double-edged sword, because I want to work more with, I have worked with companies, but I want to work more with companies, and some of them say, oh no, we don't give our staff anxiety. So it can be a barrier, and I'm like, no, actually, everyone has it, and it may be caused by grief, like you deal with, and that person's on their own now, and their identity's shifted, and it's things like that. They're not no longer a wife or a mum or whatever. So, it could be a grief thing. It could be they've had a diagnosis. It could be the menopause. There could be many reasons for someone to not feel quite themselves, and they're coming to work and not got the tools. So so I don't know what the question is. You see, I've gone on, Mum. What was the question?
Are there lots of people with anxiety?
Yes. That's a yeah. Yeah, so well, I think what I'm trying to say is, and when I say it like that, people say, oh gosh, yeah, I've got this person with this and this person with that. Yeah. And I think, again, like I say, we like to think there isn't that stigma with mental health anymore.
But there is.
There's a huge stigma.
Huge stigma.
Because that's the first resistance I get from a corporate. And yet others, progressive people. I know, and one accountant in particular said, yep, stay with the name, own it, it's really good, and I'd be proud to have you in my organisation. Yeah.
See, I think, and again, you know, doing this because of talking to people, you know, obviously without being recorded, and just people just generally just seem to be struggling with lots of stuff, but don't really want to sort of talk about it particularly openly. But I think the more people that can talk about it and sort of normalise it and understand it as being something that is just part of life, and it doesn't mean that you're collapsing, it just means that it's part of life. I mean, I've got anxiety because of my weight, you know, I'm anxious about putting weight back on. Yeah, but that's because I've been on Monjaro and now I'm not, so now I'm anxious, I've got to put it all back on again. I've got anxiety because I've got MS and I don't know where the MS is going to take me. I've got anxiety because I'm going to give up my job and I don't know what's going to happen down the road. You know, I've got my head is constantly full of all this stuff, and I just think I don't even know where to begin with trying to, you know, put myself in some kind of
one area at a time.
Yeah, some kind of settled state. And I just don't think it will ever happen. I don't think I'll ever be a calm, settled person. So it's just,
I think, yeah, you may not fundamentally be the calm, settled person, but you know, like with neuroplasticity, you've shown that your brain can rewire itself. So once you've got the tools, you could know how to get into a state of calm faster, and to how to direct your thoughts. And I think that that's the same for most of us. It is knowing that, I think, having that knowing. So yeah, you will. It's interesting because I find the whole mental health thing at the moment, I think it's great that we're all open and that we're all admitting that we've got anxiety and stress and all these problems, but equally, I wonder sometimes how, I'm just trying to think how to word this, how it can also have a negative repercussion where people think, oh, well, it's because of my anxiety, or it's because of my stress, or I've got this, or I've got that. And I don't think we're not being, our parents didn't give us tools because it's that generation. And school doesn't give us tools, and I think some of it is just personality as well. Some people are naturally more, like you and I were saying earlier, like you know, might be more of a bouncy person, up and down and like that. I'm up and down like Zebedee, you know. And some people, and one time it was classed as personality, and I think sometimes it's now classed as, it could be, you know, because of your stress, because of your anxiety, because you've got this diagnosis or whatever. And I do wonder how we frame ourselves, and I think that is more important, what our own thoughts are about ourselves. Yeah.
So it's really interesting, isn't it? Because I've done exactly that, where I've sat there and I said, oh yes, I've got anxiety because of A, B and C, but yes, I have been anxious all my life. It's part of my your DNA
makeup. Yeah,
absolutely. As I say, different levels at different times, but yes, that is one. And I do think we live in a bit of a world at the moment where there has to be, I think we live in a terrible blame culture, but it's almost like no one will take any responsibility for anything themselves. There has to be a cause and a solution to it, as you say, rather than just being.
Exactly. I think there's a lack of tolerance I'm finding with it. I think I'm loving the openness of the mental health debates, and people being comfortable say I've got ADHD or I've got, you know, autism, and I think that's just liberating for some people. And I'm also coming across people who are saying, oh well, I can't help that because of this, and I can't help that because of I've got this, and I can't do this because of that, and it's all they can't. And I just feel it's kind of blocked some people's mentality from thinking, oh, actually, with the right tools and attitude, I can. And it's almost become, for some people, detrimental.
Yes.
I think it is a completely double-edged sword for me.
It must be very complex, a very complex thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where do we go from that? That's big.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously these have only got a short amount of time, but I think this is one that could sort of rumble on and on and on and on. I think we could talk about this for forever and a day. I think it's so much stuff, isn't it? But it's been brilliant talking to you. But I mean, just as a final thing is, if you could have 3 people to dinner,
oh gosh,
who would you have to dinner and why?
Who would I? 3? Oh goodness me. Okay, well, I'd have Madonna. And the reason I've had Madonna is because she's super intelligent. She studies Kabbalah, which I'm really into, and I find it such a wisdom. And I got into it because of her when I found out I heard her talking about it. And she's the most intelligent human being ever because she can read Sanskrit and do all these things that nobody knows she can do. And I think she does a lot of charitable things that go under the radar that she wouldn't say about. So I think she's quite fascinating. I'm trying to think who would be someone else I would have to dinner. Probably Donald Trump. Not because I don't like him.
So you could.
No, I'd like to study him, to be honest with you. I'd like to wonder, kind of like, you have, I don't know, maybe you don't, maybe this is just the way my brain works. I think, well, if I won the lottery, if I got millions of pounds, what would I do? And I think I'd want to make a difference. So I'd hope that the conversation with him would make a difference in the right, positive way. So it's not that I want to particularly, I don't know the man. It's not that I think he's amazing or anything like that. I think he wields a lot of power, and I would like to be able to have some influence on the power.
Where that power goes.
Yeah. Not that I would manipulate at all. And Dr. Bandler. So Dr. Bandler, who he created with John Grinder, neuro-linguistic programming, which is what I do. And, along with touch of counselling and neuroscience and whatever. But he's very fascinating because he got the methodology to make these changes in people. And I'd just like to sit and hear all his stories about everything, because he's made a massive, huge difference to people's lives, not just from working with them directly, but then, with what I've learned. And massive difference. And I think you should know that, because when I get someone who's really, it's been life-changing, it's really quite a humbling thing, and it's almost like, I don't know, I don't know, Debbie, I don't know about you, but now I'm older, I'm just thinking it is more about making that difference, and not so that I can feel good about me. It is really making the world better for my kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
And some kind of a legacy for that, not for anything else. I don't care, I don't want it in lights or anything. I don't want, and it was nice to hear. It's nice to hear I've made a difference, but not for my gratification. No, it is a genuine, made that.
Yeah. I get that you've done something. Just that feeling that you've contributed in some
and
way.
And that when you're self-employed, like you say, it's so tough. Is like, I think if I can just be the instrument, it's not me. It's whatever whatever knowledge I've been granted with that's doing it. It's not me. I'm that vessel, but I'm lucky to be, and I think when I approach it from that point of view of, when you do feel those nervy things, thinking your job's not about what people are looking at you and what you're doing and what you're saying and how good you are or not. Your job is actually, Jane, to open the door for that person to feel different. And it's focused on them, not you.
Yeah.
That helps me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a long-winded way of asking who's coming for dinner.
But it's interesting. That's what it's about, though. That's why you asked the question, because it's interesting.
yeah. So there we go.
Brilliant. Thank you you very much.
Thank
It's been brilliant, and I think this is one that can, as I say, could go again and again. But for today, thank you very much.
Thank you.